Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have quite a few different things to go and cover over here where it seems like PlayStation and Sony are ready to go and do anything that is necessary to go and try their best to win this console war. Now, as you guys may or may not have a chance to see, we've been seeing a lot more PlayStation 5 Slim news. We had a chance to go and cover up some shorts and also just talk about the general vibe of it, but as well as also in combination of what we're expecting now with Sony prepared to take their next steps to solidify the console market even more. And as well, we also have even more big gaming news where it seems like there's a lot of big explosions when it comes to the overall gaming market, and as well as also on PlayStation, some other cool kind of gaming news. And let's go and talk about, well, everything. And also make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. And of course, the Amazon links too. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Give me your thoughts and comments, and let's dive on into the video itself. So, first and foremost, I'm sure you guys have seen or heard that Sony is trying their best to sell as many consoles as possible. Now, that's a pretty big duh, because if you're a company and a business, you want to be able to go and sell as much as you can. But one big thing to note is that they're trying to go to the next drastic level. It seems like PlayStation is trying to go make this next big jump and leap, and they want to go and try their best to go hit this huge $24 million mark, 25 million unit mark. So Sony now is prepared to take necessary measures to sell 25 million PlayStation 5s, including more discounts potentially as well. So Popular, with the little article over here, saying that Sony Corp management gives more rationale on the steep $50 price cut on the PlayStation 5. Because there's two big things to kind of remind folks on. You guys have probably seen it on the channel or us talking about if you guys are subscribed. But basically, the PlayStation has had a pretty big official, at least temporarily, price drop to $450. Now, we kind of saw this coming up in Europe, where they also did the same $450 pound and or euro, roughly, price drop about 2 weeks ago. And as of currently, right this second, I do believe consoles are still on sale, whether you're looking at, say, Amazon or PlayStation Direct or whatever it might be, which is very good because it just lets more people get on the market, and also lets kind of Sony go and drop all their stock, etc., etc. But one big thing to kind of remind everyone on, is we've kind of touched on this little quick recap, is that the PlayStation 5 Slim, or the next iteration, is also coming soon. We've had a chance to go talk about the videos and discussions and all this stuff. You guys can basically see the console, where, like, it's just a slightly slimmer down console, nothing crazy. Change out the back plate, like a few extra little slots, but overall, it's like pretty much the same exact thing. This is the CFI 2016 model, where they're trying to go and take that on over. But that's kind of why they're trying to go best and probably maintain up this maybe cheaper price point, and why they're also maybe lowering the disc editions right now to $450. Now, here's my speculation. We may go talk about this in a separate video in the future, but it kind of seems like the $450 price point might be the actual next baseline price point. X-nay out the PlayStation 5 Digital, X-nay out the PlayStation 5 Disc Edition, re-go and sell the combination one, or the PlayStation 5 Slim, whatever you guys want to go call it, for $450 baseline. So it's kind of just the average between the two, and also save them money on shipping, because the Disc Edition won't always have the disc included, and they also may have a chance to make a slight little bit of money in comparison to the Digital Edition, but that also gives people the option to add the Disc Edition as well in the future if they would like. So, all up to you guys if you guys think it's a good deal or not. I do think if they kind of phase into that one, I think a $450 price point would make sense. And as well, that also make a lot of sense too for the PS5 Pro, where they also maybe put their price point at $600 in the future. But the big thing is they want to try their best to keep selling as many consoles as they can. So Sony executive management explains the rationale behind the recent steep discounts too as well, and this is them trying to go all in. A bit ago, Sony and multiple retailers decided to reduce the PlayStation 5's price tag by at least $50. This led to some pretty surprisingly good deals with both consoles and accessories, with the disc-based PlayStation model sometimes sitting as low as $420. Now, in the latest quarter one fiscal year 2023 earnings report, Sony outlines their reason for these sales and why they're trying to go and flood the market and have a lot more people in here. So apart from unconfirmed reports of this new PS5 model, once again, that is not confirmed until we hear it from PlayStation themselves, is believed to launch sometime this year. Sony Corp essentially says that it hasn't sold as many PlayStation 5 consoles as it would have liked, and the company is willing to take necessary measures to hit its lofty sales target of 25 million PS5 sold throughout this fiscal year. Now, that is some insane numbers to be on the lookout for. Don't forget, as of right now, we're pretty much around like a 40-ish million or so consoles, and they were trying to go hit this number now for the next fiscal year, which is still at 12-month period, of 25 million. But at the same time, you also need to incentivize folks that have not bought a console yet to buy it. And I think a price cut's a really good one and a good example. But as well, if they also do these price cuts now, for anyone who wants the deal, on top of that with the PlayStation 5 Spider-Man edition as well for the collectors, and then once again for the new PS5 Slim or Variation 4, and all this put together leads to the fact that they could actually maybe sell 25 million consoles, which is also almost equivalent to what Xbox has been doing as of right this second. So they're trying to go all in. They're trying to get as many people on the market as they possibly can. So here's what Sony said in its latest Q1 report. PS5 hardware sales were at 3.3 million units. Insane. An insignificant increase of 38% year over year. Although don't forget, though, there was also a bit of that pandemic / semiconductor issues as of last year still. We have not been fully out of the whole, issues on stock and availability, but it's been pretty much, almost there. This amount is somewhat less than expected, progressing towards, their big goal of 25 million, or trying to go beat the PS4, which was, their 25 million total sale unit goal. But due to promotions now that begun in July, so basically either these are the God of War bundles, where they have the console slightly cheaper, or as well these $450 baseline bundles, they are saying that they're seeing an even bigger improvement right now for the momentum of sales on the consoles. We have positioned that accelerated penetration, AO, of PlayStation 5 hardware as one of the highest priorities in this current fiscal year. And we will try to work steadily to implement necessary measures to achieve our hardware sales target of 25 million units. So they're saying, we want to do anything that is necessary to get this number. And what I kind of maybe think right now, they know they have a lot of really big games in the works. Think Spider-Man. Think any future Wolverine game. Think that next upcoming conference where they might have a chance to release even more games. These indie games, other first-party games, the Last of Us multiplayer games, or whatever it might go and be. Or even, once again, even already established games, such as God of War, which is a very good game. Horizon Forbidden West, very good game. Or especially Final Fantasy 16 that has had a lot of heat of people out here just not buying the game or not want to purchase the game because for whatever reason. Maybe because the install base is too small, maybe they just didn't have interest in it. So they want to have an extra 40 million people to sell games too. Because don't forget, these game companies make a lot of money from buying these Spider-Mans or the God of Wars, etc. And so the more people who have the consoles, the more people in the market. I think Ratchet & Clank was also a good example where it was a good game, but it was at the very, very start of a pure PS5 baseline where there was also stock issues, and at the same time, the game was good, but not as many people could have bought the game itself. So they're saying these measures, of course, include price reductions. So there also might be even more in future price reductions on the way. On top of that, too, if we also have a brand new console as well, they may, once again, maybe want to set the $450 price point. The development is also particularly interesting given that Sony raised the price of the PS5 in practically every region besides America. And as well, it's funny because they're now just trying then to lower the price points as well. And a lot of these deals are nevertheless prevalent in the United States as well as other regions. Furthermore, just a few months ago, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO also said that the division was constantly looking at the prices of our products and services and will change prices when it's justified and necessary. And this kind of seems as of right now, or is them considering this all necessary. So it's crazy to go so that we might actually see more price decreases or a permanent price decrease. The PlayStation 5 Slim maybe as well being the same price point and maybe even a cheaper PS5 Pro, all on them trying to go and sell as much as they can. Now, reminder too, this has not been confirmed, but it does seem that PS5 Slim will be coming up next. And like I said, a $450 price point of them phasing out these old consoles. With the new one, it's still all very similar specs, just maybe slightly more efficient, would actually make a lot of sense. Now, as well, we also had some pretty big news too for gaming news, or even now we've had hundreds of percents of all these games going up. Once again, Call of Duty did have a huge, massive run up over here on Xbox, and on top of that too, they also had a lot of digital game sales, which also equated to a lot of things on the chart doing very, very well. A lot of Rockstar games are on discount, a lot of these Call of Duty games are selling well on Xbox, and on top of that too, FIFA 23 was somehow still number one, at least for Europe. There's 2.36 million digital and physical games sold in the UK during July, and 1.66 million games are sold via digital download apps too as well. We're actually up year over year. The consoles did do slightly better, although Xbox has been doing slightly worse. And on top of that too, there's also been some big issues for game sales. So in terms of new game released in July, basically Pikmin was at number 23, which was actually kind of on the lower side too, although it did not include digital. And as well, hardware. Funny enough, the sales of game consoles in July actually dropped in 7%, although compared to the prior year, it's actually up 7% too. So it's kind of intriguing to see that these console sales are actually slowly dying down. That actually might be a topic for another day. FIFA 23 right now is number 1. GTA is somehow number 2. Maybe it's GTA 6 leaks. Red Dead Redemption, maybe with the Red Dead Redemption leaks as well at number 3. And then all the Call of Duty games as well for that. Reminders too, we actually had some folks playing that saying that the Final Fantasy 16 was one of their favorite games of all times too as well. Really cool to go and see this one. And of course, actually Assassin's Creed is actually coming out a week early too as well. So if you guys are curious, October 5th is the brand new release date for the Assassin's Creed Mirage game. I cannot wait to play. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Follow up on Twitter, follow up on Twitch, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.